Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the next episode of Craig Butler's Unfiltered Live. Welcome. Already four people. Yeah, welcome. It's been, I guess you can call it a break, I guess.
Yeah,
We're
we
on a
took a
bit of a break.
sabbatical.
Yeah, so welcome everybody to the first show of the new year. Greg, of course, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Welcome
All
back
the
to
best.
Jamaica.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
God,
hope
not,
you had a
not,
wonderful time
I
in
did
Canada.
not even a week yet. I came back on Thursday. So I was out there with family. But how was your holidays? How was everything?
Boy, it was eventful. I had lots of family here. My father was here for the first
Really?
time in
Is it? I was
20 or
wondering.
30
Is that him on
years.
the photos that you were posting?
Yes, that was when
Oh,
I
I was
had my
wondering.
dad with
I
her.
could have sworn that was your brother or something.
Yeah, it looks. My brother was here as well, also from
Testing the
New
audio.
York.
Okay.
Happy New Year to everybody out there. My sister was here, Laura. Had good Christmas dinner and busy, busy, busy.
Yeah,
This time of year is my favorite time of year.
yeah,
And I really look forward to having the boys. Leon couldn't be here because of, Premier League and games
yeah,
on the 26th and stuff. But
yeah.
just glad to have everyone
Yeah,
home.
the Premier League started like pretty much right after the World Cup. And you got no break. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't really get too much of a break either because you were still out there, working throughout most of the holidays.
I work through the holidays.
Yeah,
You can't stop if you want to build really great players. You have to keep going. You have to keep the focus and you have to keep them focused. But it was good. We had a good time and
that's good.
some great challenges too, but we overcame.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah. So welcome everybody, and see, already at 17 people. So again, wish you all had a great holiday season. Lots to cover today. From the title, as you saw, call up happened. Today it was announced.
Today was the
was
first day
announced.
of training.
Of
Actually.
training, right?
Yes, I
And-
took him in today. Met the coach and then his support staff, and yeah, it was good.
Yeah, and we'll have a special guest person who was called up to
Yeah.
the team will be on the show with us. So
yeah.
I'm sure everyone knows who that is. But oh well, yeah. I mean, how do you feel about Whisper? Are you proud of him, and how do you feel seeing him out there finally training with Jamaica? Or at least these first two training sessions.
I think it was really, really, really for me. It was a feeling of vindication. You know, it's been very difficult. You're singing and fighting and saying that this player deserves to be in the national team. He's at the level, and everybody is saying, "Shut up." He's 17 years old. You're pushing. You're just trying to sell a player. No, it's not about that. It's about, if he deserves to be there, he deserves to be there. If he's good enough, we should have him in the program, and it's the correct thing.
Yeah.
We have the guys here with us actually this evening, and I was very excited about also Akeem Bernard's performance in the Manning Cup and in the All Manning, exceptional.
Yeah.
Pusai, and our players are really getting ready and doing well. We're going to speak with Laura Butler a little bit as a preface about what we do to ensure players get the best preparation off the field in terms of etiquette and public speaking and image projection, and so you can see why there has been an improvement in Whisper, why there has been an improvement with the boys, and what we're going to do and what takes them from Leon Bailey at 14 years old, barely able to speak well, to the Leon Bailey that speaks in 4 and 5 different languages and can conduct interviews at any level.
Yeah.
So without further ado, let's bring Laura on the program.
Okay. Hi, Laura, can you hear us? Oh, I think.
Yes, I can hear you. Sometimes the signal seems to be an issue. Am I coming in and out, Brandon?
Oh, that's our fault. Sorry.
Oh,
All right, Laura, can you hear us? Okay, there we go.
Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect. How's it going? Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I know it's a bit late for that, but I haven't talked to you yet, so just want to say that to you real quick. So I hope you had a good holiday.
Very much. Certainly did. One of the best. Every family's everything. So I'm very grateful for that opportunity to have been with them.
That's great. So, Laura, before we get started, I think this might be your first time on the stream.
I think it's the second time I got called in by you guys once, I
And
think.
so, yeah, do you want to? I guess just introduce yourself really quick, just so people who are new seeing you for the first time.
You seem to be freezing on my end. Am I freezing, Brandon?
No, you seem to be good. You're
Okay,
good.
well, you're in and out. So hopefully I'll be able to share what's necessary.
Yeah, so
Okay.
can you tell us about what it is that you do in your career, and also what it is that you do for Phoenix? Because we're trying to introduce the many different facets that make up the Phoenix All Stars Football Academy and what goes into the development of players. So just share with us who you are, what you've done, what your experience has been.
Okay, well, I'm a professional development trainer. Been doing this for over 20 years, primarily working with corporate, but I've done a fair amount of work with youth development. I'm a adjunct lecturer at a couple of universities, one being the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean. I've done work with the UWI, UTech, Mona School of Business, and Norma Manley Law School. But I've spent a fair amount of years working with our players within the Phoenix Academy, and primarily to prepare them off the field, because they have to be able to socially function and operate at their highest level. So Craig and the coaches and everybody else deals with on the field, and I spend a lot of time preparing them off the field. And some of the things that we focus on is their personal branding. So they understand the value in that. So they can appreciate that your message is delivered within 4 to 10 seconds, not based on facts, but observation. People will treat you according to how you present yourself. So we spend time doing interview skills and techniques, so they're able to handle their interviews well, to be able to articulate their thoughts in a way that really captures the feeling and the essence of the experience, so listeners can appreciate that. And it's really their ability to effectively communicate. And when they do go out in a social setting, to confidently be able to maneuver and handle themselves around a dinner table or at a social or cocktail event. We take them from a 3 course to a 6 course meal, so they understand the different things. Whether or not they do it, it's not because they don't know, but rather because they choose not to. So, and again, we keep it very real. So it's not a highfalutin kind of thing we're doing. It's just that if you're rubbing shoulders with the best of the best in the world, which is Craig's focus, he prepares the players to achieve their absolute best and be recognized internationally by their skills, by their performance, by their heart. And so when they're able to, you know, be at an event and they're seeing all these different, top players and superstars, they don't feel inferior because of where they're coming from and their circumstances. They're able to confidently handle themselves in those settings. So we take them through that as well. We also kind of, help them to understand the value of protecting their brand in the social media space, so they can be attractive for endorsements, and to also see that they're role models and a lot's on their shoulder. Now, not everybody will break through and make it as a pro player, but those that do carry the weight of the others to ensure that they pave the way. And so a lot of weight was put on Leon and Kyle and Kevon and all the first ones, Travis, and a lot of pressure went there, Martin, and a whole list of them, to ensure now that the younger players, one, believe it is possible, and so on. So these are some of the things, some of the areas, and there's more, but primarily this, their body language, to confidently interact. So there's a difference between being arrogant and confident, and we kind of spend time helping them to build their confidence, so that when they step on the field, they're not stepping on the field just with their skill set or their experience or their training in football. They're stepping feeling that they can comfortably handle themselves in any situation.
Laura,
Yes.
it's good to know. I just wanted to ask you a question. Do you remember when Leon started out
Oh, yeah.
as, starting to practice public speaking?
Yes.
at 8, 9, 10 years old, compared to where he is now.
Wow. Yeah.
How do you feel being a very significant part of that development and journey?
Well, I mean, first of all, we have great subjects, right? We have great talent to work with. Leon was always exceptional. But one of the things that, the player that's going to get ahead when he appreciates the value in the preparation of the field as well. And it makes me, I'm very proud. I'm very proud of him. I mean, tears sometimes come to my eyes just hearing him now being able to articulate his thoughts in such a confident way, and the world is listening and they can appreciate what he's saying too, because it was a struggle. And I mean, I remember even times they're like, oh auntie, we have to go through this again, but over time they realize the value in it. And so there's nothing wrong with speaking patois, but our first language is English, and we speak standard English, and it's important to have a good command of the English language. And then, of course, use your patois to express yourself. There's not a thing wrong with that. But we want to make sure that they use it by choice and not because they have no choice. So I'm very proud of Leon and how he's able to conduct himself and handle his interviews. And it was a long journey. It had its challenges.
Speak to us of the commercial value of one's brand as a footballer.
Well, I mean, you first have to be attractive, right? Corporate needs to be careful who they associate with and who they align their brand with. And once you have an appreciation for the value of brand and being respectful of that, which is one of the things we try to encourage our players to do. One, we want them to be easy to work with. We want them to be professional, we want them to be respectful and appreciate and align with corporate's values. And so we want corporate to be able to look at our players and say they're super talented, they're hardworking, they're dedicated, but you know what? They're well mannered, they're respectful. They spend time on developing themselves, and they're willing to listen, they're trainable, and they're easy to work with. And so when corporate sees that because I can tell you, uh, success is one thing, but being able to manage success is another. And sometimes professional players, they don't understand that, and they think success is just things, right? But it's all about building relationships and protecting your brand and being consistent with that brand. So that's one of the things corporate looks for when they're looking to associate. And we've been very fortunate to have some solid brands that have supported us over the years and are they're still with us, and more to come, because our players, they're great talent, and it's sensible, I think, and a good move for corporate to align themselves with the talent that's coming out of Phoenix Academy.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So I know we have two of your boys, two of your students have been hiding and trying to get away. We've set up the group with you because you're in Texas now.
Yes.
Set up the group with you so you can work with Whisper and you can work with Pusai and Dovey and Theo and Dante, who doesn't need a lot of work, but he does need some work. So
Yeah.
without further ado, today Whisper went to his first senior team training.
Wow.
Yeah, he had the first senior team call up at the Horace Burrell
Very good.
facility today. Met the new coach Al Grimson,
I'm very happy to hear that.
and so we're gonna have him come on and speak about how he feels, what it was like, and Pusai is gonna come on, speak about his all-man performance and what his goals are. One of the things that these two guys have, which is very important, is that they could be supermodels
Yes.
as
Yes.
well as professional footballers. Like how Michael Jordan really made a great impression on the commercial side of the football business. I think that they have that capacity too. So we have to be working. We're going to be working with them on that, and I'm going to be discussing a little bit about their next steps and how that's going to work out. Ask Whisper how he feels, and want you to participate in it. I want you to take a look at how they deliver, how they sit in, how they're going to perform, and hear and share with us and stay on with us for a little while.
Yeah. And I'm happy to hear that, Craig, because again, we don't want to change who our players are. We want their hearts. We want people to fall in love with, or boys who we love very much. And we want people to get to know who they are as individuals. We're just kind of giving them that extra support to ensure that they know how to use this information to their advantage. So I'm very happy, and I'm also grateful for technology. I can be here in Texas. We can have Zoom sessions. I'm able to work with them, and when I'm in Jamaica, I can examine them more closely. But thank heavens for technology and the opportunity to be working with our boys.
All right, and Brandon, you've gotten a lot of the profiles done for the boys.
Yeah, it's been a project over the last month or so. So we still have Nosies being finalized.
The Whitfield, yeah.
Then we have, the more Whitfield. We have Denzel and it is Kashane Gordon.
Yes.
Kashane Gordon. So those are the two after that. But yeah, I think we've gotten a lot of the players done. Now the issue is that you're going through 20 full matches, because again, one of the things that Mona did and we did was able to record every single match that all the boys played the entire season.
Excellent.
No other school here did that. They kind of just rely on whatever the broadcast does, but we make sure that we film everything. So one, not necessarily downside, but one thing that comes out of that is there's a lot of footage to go through.
Oh, yeah.
It's a big project to go. So it's a good and it's a blessing and a curse at the same time, because it adds a lot more work to it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you're getting exactly what you want out of the players and showing exactly what you want. You have every minute they touch the ball. And so like Craig always says, when you show the senior team or any club or agency, they can't deny anything. You're not just talking anymore.
You're seeing the goals. You're seeing all the goals. You're seeing everything. So
that's been a practice of Craig for years. In fact, I think that's one of the key to the success of Phoenix, because he had the vision to know to not just capture it so the players can look back at their play and learn from it, but also to create this, the journey, to capture the journey so that he can share. And that was just genius. So I'm very happy that that's being continued. And I really hope, that we will be able to continue to encourage our boys to understand the value in this. So not just for evidence, Brandon.
Candy, it really is for evidence. Because when I start off, I said, them man, they're not going to believe me. They're going to say, I lie, me. I tell you, so you know what?
True.
A video, everything.
But even our own players, Craig, if you remember, they were doubtful. And I was able to listen to a couple of, the programs. I mean, the show is really good. You guys are doing a great job. And I remember you talking about Whisper when we first, you forgot that I was there with you. And they're ready to just throw a Whisper in there. I had to be like, hold on a minute. Let's exchange some numbers here. But I'm so happy that they had such faith in you, Craig, to give their child up without even thinking twice, and that shows a lot of, value in, they believe in you, and your footage and your track record has proven to the world that this is not a one-hit wonder. We have tremendous success coming out of Phoenix. I can't begin to tell you the amount of people who have reached out to me from all over the world, about wanting to get I just had a discussion just this evening with somebody else whose kid is in Atlanta, and they want to get in the Phoenix program, and they're talking about how they can create opportunities for their kid to get to Europe, because tried, tested, and proven. So Craig, you should feel pretty awesome about what you've been able to do. And I'm so glad to be journeying with you on that.
I'm just trying to continue what my mentors did for me.
Yeah.
Walk up David Hunter, Mark Mendel, Jimmy Sinclair, Preacher Ventura Sr. So without further ado, let's ask them to come on. The men of the moment, the great Pusai.
Do you want to do both at the same time?
Can we?
Yeah. So I'll step out a little bit, but I'll stay on the side.
Come on, guys.
Yeah. The one thing is, so the microphone's going to be here, Craig. So you may have to just point it to whoever's speaking at the time.
So go like this.
Yeah,
Or
like
this.
that. And guys, just make sure that when you're talking, try to talk loudly. Okay? All right. So one can go in the back. Careful, careful. Yes, yes.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Even
Good to see you.
So whisper, slouch up, slouch up.
Yes, that's a whisper already. I'm making notes, mental notes, whisper.
and there
But
I
that's
got
okay, we'll get there.
She was there, you remember?
You remember, you remember that whisper?
Yeah, man, until I must be on.
Okay, yeah, that was quite funny. Quite
Well,
funny.
well, Whisper, I wanted to start with you about how was training today. How do you feel?
It's a great feeling to be selected in that team.
And Laura, feel free to cut in to give him some notes if you need
Yeah,
to.
the only thing, Whisper, is you need to project some more. I need to hear your voice. And it helps when your body position is sitting upright. You're able to project a whole lot better when you open the center.
Yeah, sit down like try sit there.
Yeah,
Back of this thing.
there you go. All right, go ahead.
It's a great feeling to be in the national team. I will honor them more if I represent my country.
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity.
Yeah.
So how did it feel to meet the new coach? What's he like?
He's a good coach. I don't see any faults.
Yeah.
He's like he motivates a lot, and I think if Jamaica treated him the way he should be treated, we'll go to the next World Cup.
Yes. I watched the training session. He puts a lot of effort into it. He's not the type of coach that sits on the sideline and take notes, you know. He was very interactive with you guys, and you know, he spoke a lot. When I met him for the first time, he was very warm, very professional, you know, warm handshake. And you should have seen Whisper today. He went in his business suit,
Nice.
just like how Leon used to do. Went in his business suit, ready for business.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man, did well, man.
Nice.
Proud of him, very proud.
I'm so happy to hear that, Whisper. So, Pussa and Whisper, what do you think? We're going to make it to a World Cup again and win?
Yes, Auntie.
Yeah? How do you think? What do you think we need to do to get there?
Work in a proper system. The BF system.
What? What, Whisper?
The BF system.
The beef system. I think that's important, and certainly with the right attitude and unity and focusing on a common goal, right? Which is the country, the sport, the value in it, what it does for, you know, our lives, for people's lives, for our people in Jamaica and the world ultimately. I mean, people keep talking. Every time I run into people here, they're like, oh, you're from Jamaica. Oh, Cool Runnings. We love that movie. I say, you think Cool Runnings is anything? Wait to hear about Phoenix.
I tell you something. So I think somebody approached you, Jonathan, to do the movie again, you know.
Yeah.
You really need to do it and really need to write that book.
I think
Because
so,
it's
definitely.
not, if we put this in a movie, no one will believe it. They'll just say some fantasy. Could never be true.
And you know what,
Never.
Craig? I think the most exciting part of what that movie would capture is the emotions. You will cry, you will laugh until you're weak. Because guys, you know, you guys work real hard, but when we're ready to have fun, I mean, it's just endless laughter. I mean, when
And the teasing and everything, man.
it's just
The teasing. Poor
journey,
Mexico.
the struggle, the journey. And I'm so proud of you, young men, being able to, you know, I know the challenges, right? And still keep your focus, still come to training every day, still go through these long hours that beef put on us through. It's all building character, right? But there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm so proud of you for sticking it out, really. And I've watched you all. Every time I leave Jamaica and I come back, and I see the growth. You may not see it because you're in it every day, but I see how you young men. I remember skinny Whisper. Oh my God, your body was so twisted up. Whisper, you know, all over the place. And then Pusai was just this long, tall, you know, and all I could see was his eyes popping out of his head. You know, and now I look at you, your bodies are full, you know, feeling a lot more, you're more confident, you're handsome as ever. You know, I'm so proud of my nephews, can I tell you? So keep it up.
So how did it feel? You know, one of the great feelings the other days, the All Money was playing, right? And my assistant coach at Mona was the assistant coach of the All Money. Go figure. But I went to the game and I was standing on the wall, you know, just trying to will them on when they were warming up. I said, willing them on, you know, just want them to do well and everything. Just before the game started, before they went in to change, one of them saw me and ran over. Then another one, then another one, then another one, then another one. Until all of them were there. We just hugged right there. I said, go and enjoy the game. You deserve it. You deserve to be here. Proud of all of you. And it was really a great feeling to see, you know, not just Whisper or Pusai, but players like, you know, it is Robinho Gordon, you know, from where he was coming from, this skinny, mager, almost insipid little creature. What it is today, you know, leader, strong, defender, you know, Duvey, you know, Zane, you know, but really proud of them. You know, Nosy Damoy Whitfield. He came to us, he was so skinny when he came. Now his body's filled out, he's mature, leader, Theo, all of them. Dante. It was just really good to see those boys there and to see them take a picture.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things this was a lesson for Pusai because it's important to be true to who you are, guys, right? Just be true to who you are. You know, Pusai is a goalkeeper candidate that is very, him talk a lot, him tease you, him do a sort of style and thing when keep, you know, and it puts off the strikers. So in like I think his rate in penalties, if you kick 5 penalties at Pusai, I'm going to save 3.5, maybe 4.
Yeah, sure.
For sure, and that is like beyond any rate. That is like beyond world class, you know, because normally people score penalties, but in the game, I remember him going into the game. I noticed he was not doing what he normally did. He was standing there and then anticipating and diving to one side. Now, Puss is so big that he covers half the goal already by just in body size. So once him doing little antics, you get off the striker, you know. And I remember I'm shouting from the stands. Did you hear me?
Yeah.
What you heard? I'm curious.
Yes,
What?
it's a BU, yes, style.
Yeah. And I'm trying and I'm looking like an idiot in the candy because I'm in the stands and I'm there jumping over a post. I said, do your style, do you think I always do this thing? And after the 2 goals scoring in the penalty shootout, he did it. And the first one, the guy hit the crossbar and it went out. And the second one he saved. You know? So I just want to congratulate you. And also thank you. Seriously, for believing in me, to listen to me, to do what you know is best, to do your thing. Because you could have said, you know what, no, I'm going to listen to that guy who was coaching or whoever it was that was telling it to us. Yeah, and I've seen him save 3 penalties back to back, you know,
Yeah.
in a game. 3 penalties back to back.
Well, you can look at
kicking over and over and over.
if you look at so Pusai, we have his profile online, and that's there.
Yeah.
So you can watch it.
Nice.
Those penalties.
Yeah. Can we bring it up? Is it possible?
I could, yeah, I could.
Yeah, let's bring it up. I want to look at it.
Which one? Plus size?
Full size, yeah.
Okay. In the meantime, we have a question for Whisper. It's similar to what we've already talked about, but Unseen Sports is asking, what was it like training with the other players in the senior team today and getting a taste of the coach's tactics and what he's trying to put in?
Well,
Project.
it wasn't really a big training, like it was just a recovery training, like finishing and the other stuff like that, and passing where it should be when ball is on the other side there, stuff like that.
Interesting.
Were you able to get to
No?
spend time with the other players, or was it just hard training? Did you get to at least have conversation with them?
No, we didn't have any conversation. Like it was just like an hour and 30 minutes training. Like just
Okay,
passing.
so they got right down to business.
Yeah,
But there are players that he knew there, like Jason Wright was there.
yeah.
Yeah. How did they receive him? How did Jason, when he saw you, what he say? Anything?
So that man, Jason's there.
Okay.
So let's take a little look at Pusai's profile during the season.
The starting lineup in a short time as they go through the pleasantries here. Akeem Bernard, a goalkeeper with great attacking ability. He starts once again. The rest of the lineup.
Here's another opportunity for JC. Can they get the equalizer here? It's put back. Chance they can go. Fabulous save by Akeem.
King Puss.
Jamaica College has let slip. Leave everything right there, Jamaica College. It was excellent field of play. Laid it off. Ball played inside back to Aldrich. Here is Ziminese. It's Tariq Ziminese. Held off by Akeem Bernard. Graham to deliver JC's second corner kick. Lost it high. Punched away by Akeem Bernard. From Tariq Ziminese. Lost along the ground. Well, he was reaching for it in the end. Stays where the team needs him. And here's Aldrich. Looking to finish this off. Back on Aldrich. And Akeem Bernard does enough. It's a lovely take by Aldrich. But couldn't apply the finish. Immediately. He's now back out wide and ball sent in. Bernard to handle it at the sideline.
Akeem was very good this year in attacking too. How many assists he had? Puss? 5 assists. How many goals? And 2 goals. Yeah, how few players that don't have those stats? You know?
Was he fouled here? It's a chance for St. George's College.
I mean, listen, what you could do is, talk us through some of these, memories from these matches. Where were some of your favorite matches? Where were some of your favorite saves? What do you remember about the season?
I would say that one against Georges and against JC as well.
Save?
Yeah. And assist against Idle as well. That was my favorite.
It's against Tivoli.
So yeah,
Is it the penalties coming up?
Yeah, I think they're somewhere in the middle around there. You want to go there?
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find them.
3 back-to-back penalties.
It was against Tivoli, right? Right here, yeah. There's one.
Referee gave it over.
That's the second one.
Second one. And the
then
third
one. So tell us about that, because that was like a highlight of the season. I mean, what was going through your mind when? Because clearly, when you watch it and you zoom in and you see even the photos we took, there was no reason to call it back. So Like, how did that not stop you from being confident enough to go and save it again and again? I mean, what was going through your mind?
Just make a bit referee and say,
That's what he did.
5 grand still it.
That's
Oh
what he
yeah.
said.
So
You pay him.
15 grand I could have made. I don't think it's still good.
Wow.
All 9 game. Just use 9 game cover.
Yeah. What were you doing? What were you thinking or saying to the guy?
You can't score
Yeah.
Do you train a lot with penalties during practice?
well.
No, you just feel natural.
Boss in there.
Oh, you hear him now. You hear this one. So you scored penalty. How much penalties? 2? 2 on Pusa.
Oh yeah.
So he's around there laughing about busting that.
Yes.
For me, it's a dream still.
Yeah, well, you know what's amazing, Craig? Every time when I was there and I was watching the games, I was happy to have been to be there to be able to witness it in person. But what was really tormenting for me is there are other Phoenix players. You see Bell and you see Bob and you see all of them, and they're shooting at our own Phoenix guys. I mean,
It's
there must have been a saw where Bell was like, "Damn it, pussy," just
Yeah.
Well, I was Laura. I was joking with Whisper during Christmas, or no, last year, because after one of the goals, he went and against Mona, he went and just celebrated all the fans, pumped them up. I was like, Whisper, you didn't have to cheer. You could have scored and walked away.
Yeah,
You have to
yeah.
go and make sure everyone got louder against Mona. But yeah,
I think what
those are
happens
fun
that people were
games.
saying as fans are from, I think Mona fans were saying, go ahead or good
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
So once it, the worst thing you can do with Whisper is say him not good or him can't score. Better he just be quiet and just let the sleeping giant sleep. That's like Leon the same. He's almost every Phoenix
Yeah.
player. The minute you say we can't do something or we're not good enough, or the whole battalion is raised. The
Right,
whole battalion starts.
because we know the struggle, Craig. But Whisper, you remember when you got knocked down in one of the games? Do you remember that movie Jeremy Maguire when the player was out and they're like, get
Oh.
up in the whole stadium? Whisper, that was kind of how it was in the stadium. They're like, oh no, not Whisper, when they had to literally take you off the field. You remember that?
Yeah.
What was that? What was going through your mind? Because I saw you're beating up on yourself, like you're very disappointed that happened.
I was going through my mind after the injury.
Yeah,
Me tell myself, so I go back over there.
you're going back out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when you came back out, everybody was so relieved and celebrating, and I think that was a big part, being able to see that in life you'll get hit down, but you have to be able to get back up and willing to go and, do your job. So that was quite something.
I think all the KC coaches and physios and everything hate me badly because I remember this game. I'm sick in them. So I'm in the stand. I know it's half of the week, healthy, and the other half I carry up.
Yeah.
So I'm in the stands now. Barely I sit down, watch the game. See a man leave the middle and clap this on him. I'm licking with no candy.
Wow.
I swear so the knee drop off,
Yeah.
And at that point, I was not thinking that this is a Kingston. He's playing for Kingston College. They have their own physios. This is not my place. Leave it alone. All I was thinking is no player is down, and I don't know if I'm hurt, and I don't want nobody fix him. I want to make sure I'm all right.
Yeah.
It scaled the fence, and police all around me down. Reached down by the reached down.
But Craig,
Right.
let me tell you, this business is so nerve-wracking, right? What goes through your mind when you see one of your players who is more than just a player? He's your son, he's family. What goes through your mind when one of your players get hurt?
Well, I don't know, but I cry a lot, Yeah, it brings a lot of emotion, so it's hard, and it's they have their parents, and the parents love them and they support them, and I end up becoming a part of their family. And you love the parents too, you love the dad, you love the brothers, the sisters, and then something happens to one of them, and you're saying, "What am I gonna do?" You know, you can't. You literally, it's just like you have to go. I have to go. I have to make sure they're all right. So
Yeah. And gentlemen,
Maybe
how do you feel? How do you feel when, first of all, I'm curious to know if you get hurt by anybody, what's the first thought when it come on to beef or coach? What's the first thing you think in terms of, so if you're on the field and you get hurt, you know how he is, right? And how he is very protective of you all. So for example, from my perspective, the minute one of you get hurt, I start to worry because I don't know what he's going to do. Right? I worry. What's the feeling for you when anybody mess with you?
More time, more fight and I have to just hold it in.
Yeah, you have to hold it. But you know that if beef comes into play, but right?
he said, "Chop up without chop off the body, brother."
No.
And I don't allow pickaxe sticks into the stadium, so I'm at a disadvantage right there. But no, I think the question you're really asking is, what happens if when one of you guys get hurt? Like, yeah, example, Mona is playing against Wolmer's.
Yeah.
Now, Wolmer's, because of the history from 1986 and them selling out the Money Cup to KC and costing JC the Money Cup. And no matter what anybody say, I know the truth, right? Wolmer's is my most hated school, yeah? And we're playing against Wolmer's, and Jamani Bell is on Wolmer's team. And he drops and he gets an injury and his hand is broken. Now, I am on the opposing team coaching, but I reach him first, and getting the hand back in place. And his Phoenix teammates who are on Mona team, they're all surrounding him and making sure he's all right.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, when they look, the Bulmars players were going for water.
Well, it when I was there, Craig, and I saw Bell, he came over and I said, I heard you got hurt. How is the hand? He said, better, Auntie. But him say, Auntie in the game is my Phoenix brother, them come look after me. And I said, I heard about that, but thank God for family. It really resonated with him because he was like, that's who came, the opposing team, but they're my brothers, and that's a big part of what Phoenix is about. We look out for each other, even when you don't know that we're looking out for each other. We have that.
We're trying to strike, but it's hard to strike a balance with. Is between what's best for the player in his career and representing the national team. And I've had really difficult times with it because, as you know, Leon and Kyle never represented the national team until they were in their 20s. And Kyle just once, I believe, but Leon is now consistently doing it. And that fight that he got and the concentration that we put as a result on his development and on his career, we focused on that until we no longer we said we're not going to play. When he reached into his 19th and 20th year, we're saying no, we're not going to play. He's going to focus on his career and then he'll come after. So sometimes now we are in a position, for example, with Theo and Dante, we said for the under 17s we had I think five or so players that were left in the group. There was Dante, Carlton Brown, Portion, Jamani Bell, Dylan John, and Theo. And a year before this, the similar thing happened, you know, and and the under 15s were going for Jamaica, and at the last minute they wanted to call Dante and Theo, and we said no. Theo and Dante went to England with Whisper, and they dominated. And Pusa, he went to, right?
Yeah.
And dominated and came back with so much more experience and maturity and understanding of the whole professional game that Theo went on to dominate in the Manning Cup as an attacking midfielder. And Dante was probably the best, in my opinion, wing back that first year and the second year, you know. So they went to the under 17s and they called them up and training was going on, and you know, the couple things that happened. First of all, they played them out of position. You know, so Dante, who's a left back, was put to play right back for the whole the training period of the national under 17. And then Theo, who's a central midfielder, was put out to play left wing. Now, remember, anything you learn in football you can unlearn. So I can teach Whisper how to play a certain way, you know, to become a pro, you know. And somebody else can unteach him, you know, tell him something else and get him confused. So, you know, Bella and Dylan were comfortable and portion and doing well, and so I gave the option because we're traveling now to Europe again, in a few weeks maximum, and we said, listen, here's the option. You can either go and play for the national team now and go to Guatemala in the under 17s, or you can come now and focus on your career and represent national team later, and play against Atletico Madrid and Real Sociedad and Leverkusen, Genk, you know, big clubs, you know, especially in Spain right now, we're very interested in our players, and Portugal. And or you can go and play in the under 17s. Well, Dylan, Carlton, and Bell chose to play for the national team now, and have nothing against them, and it's okay. But Theo and Dante chose to go the route of getting the professional exposure, played in front of the big clubs, and growing from there in that way. So, you know, we got a lot of flack about it, but the truth of it is, you know, how many players from the Jamaica under 17 that qualified for the World Cup actually are in the current national team? I think none. I
Well, I
don't
don't
think.
know what those stats are, but I think, Craig, that's a big part of what you bring to the table, international exposure for players. And the question then could be, if Leon had, let's just say they had called Leon and Kyle and they played for the national team, would Leon be where he is today if that was the avenue he took? And I'm not sure that he would have, because the experience he has garnered from working with the best youth development clubs in the world, and, you know, people who are focused on the love of the sport and what it can do and what can happen for you as a pro, you know, player, that is what Phoenix is all about, right? Creating opportunities. And also, you know, there's a lot of hurt that, as the Phoenix family knows, I mean, we have had talented players from the get-go, but nobody believed in it. And it's not, you know how it is, you have to prove yourself. Okay, we've proven that the system works and our players are great talent, but there's still a little, you know, delay in everything. You can't wait on that. Or players, this is a short-lived profession, right? You're an old guy when you get into your mid-20s, your 30s, right? So it's a short-lived profession, and you have to strike while the iron is hot, and you have to, and that's what you understand. And you have to create the opportunities, and then everything is left up to the players to go and do their job, do what they're supposed to do, and achieve the success at the absolute highest level. And if the opportunity is still there, their hearts are always going to be wanting to play for Jamaica. We all want Jamaica. We all believe Jamaica can go to the World Cup and win. But it's going to take, you know.
We believe that, but does the rest of the country believe it?
I think a lot of people know, Craig. I think a lot of Jamaica has seen. There are a lot of people who have seen what you've done with Mona. They've seen the Phoenix program. They've seen other players who have gone on to do well. If we're able to work together and stay focused on the common goal, which is football, the development of it, what it can do for the country, and stay right there and giving our players the opportunities that they deserve. You understand? Not about who they are, where they come from, or anything. They're true raw talent. And if it's one thing I know, I have such confidence, we all do, in our players. And I'm excited for you young men, Whisper and, Pusa and Nosy and Dante and all of them who are now going to Europe. We have so much faith and confidence in you, and we know you're going to make it. We just know you're going to make it, and you're going to transform, continue with this journey to revolutionize, football and what it can do for families, because we know what it has done for families. I'm so proud to be there with the Leon Bailey Foundation and giving back to the Jubilee Hospital. So much, new mothers, the things that they need. We were able to do that. And our journey is from real struggle. And it was an honor for me to be there and to see the mothers being so grateful for what we did. And a lot of people don't understand a lot of the work that goes on behind the scenes for Phoenix, and the Phoenix program. Our boys know how to garden. I don't know if this group here was a part of gardening and, doing some gardening, but
I'm always at a garden, man.
Right? The garden, that's an important part. Learning to fix the car, learning to cook, to clean, to manage,
To drive.
to learn about finances.
Tell him I shot the Jeep yesterday.
What happened?
Well, I Puss was parking the Jeep, so Whisper was fretting, saying, "Go and mash up the Jeep." But he did a good job.
Yeah, well, you're gonna have to learn.
Yeah, we have some questions.
Question, Dante. Can we add Dante? Because I think I saw him early on.
You joining?
Yeah, he's supposed to be joining us. There he
There
is.
he is. Dante, can you turn on your camera?
Night, everyone.
Hi, Dante.
Go on, killer.
I'll
You have
go.
any light where you are, Dante, so we can see a little bit more of you? Turn on another light.
I'd have to move. All right, wait in a second.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll keep an eye on you to add you back. But yeah, Craig, we had just a couple quick questions.
Sure.
Somebody's asking about Donhue Mitchell. What's his next step? Because he just turned, or is 18 now. So, what is his plans?
Well, we are traveling now on tour, and they're going on trial with several clubs. This is a phase that we have now. So, Whisper will be going on trial with clubs. Dante going on trial with clubs. We're playing against clubs as a team and block. And
Duvey's included in
Duvey's included in that. Pusa is included in that. What I wanted to ask you, Puss? I want to ask you, because you don't normally speak a lot, but what was the impact on you going to England, playing against those teams? How did it change your life?
It changed my life a lot, still, because a great feeling playing against the top club in England, playing with some great players as well. It was a really great feeling playing against the top clubs.
Who did you play against?
Aston Villa, Sheffield.
Sheffield was your hardest game, don't?
Never get enough minutes.
Yeah?
Never get enough minutes.
No, get no minutes, not minutes. Who was keeping RJ? You were punished for what you do.
Injured, they never want to play me.
Okay. So who was keeping RJ? RJ keeps Ulmers as well.
We get 10 minutes in the match. And Crystal Palace. No. Alberton. And we play a tournament as well.
So what do you feel about what do you feel about the who I want to ask you about? I know it's a little personal, but I respect your mom a lot. What would you becoming a professional mean to you in terms of your mom? And tell us about your mom. I want to know about Bernadette.
My mom is a good woman. She always been in my life. You know, she be my love of my life forever. I make my mom proud. She tell me that I make her proud. So that's a great feeling as well. I'll go to war for my mom.
Really proud of that woman. She has made a huge effort to be there for you. And I mean, when I say how hard she works, oh, you know, she'll do anything. She take bus, come if she need her to sign a letter for him to do anything. She not make you come to her. She'll find you.
Sorry, I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. It looks like an issue with the router and echo device, so try restarting them.
Craig always
Alexa,
has
shut up,
Then
please.
plug the router back in. Wait 30 seconds. Once the router is back on,
That's Alexa, you know.
plug in the echo device.
Alexa, can you please go away?
I unplugged it.
Thank you. Yeah, that's Alexa. I guess she's jealous that she's not getting any attention. Yeah, so she's not gonna wait on you. She's gonna come there. She's gonna be at every game. And she's not pushy. She just really supportive woman. Boy, she reminded me of my mother when I was playing, and that's why I like her so much. My mother there every match, man. And if you look for me the wrong way,
Yeah.
if like I'm attack me the wrong way, boss, my mother ready for run on the field, and people have to be holding her.
He has one on the field before.
Yeah, she
And take on rep and all of them things.
Take on referee and them things. I tell you, mothers are really important.
Tariq Brown.
Yeah.
He says one Bernadette.
Yeah, yeah. Really good lady, man. Really good, supportive. And she can't do anything, She can't do anything. She can't what? She can't do what kind of don't she can do construction like she can do carpentry and all sorts of stuff. What? When she ready for put in the work for make sure I'm all right, man. Really appreciate her.
And so, Pusa, you know how important it is to be successful and stay the course, because one day you'll be able to really, show your mom just how much she means to you by, allowing her to journey with you on that. And that's so important. It's all about family, and that's a good goal.
Dante, turn on your camera whenever you're ready.
Yeah. So just a couple more quick ones. Someone that was, I guess, another JC old boy saying, the match was sellout with Paul Young.
Yeah.
So to back you up on that. He actually also asked, why didn't you coach JC instead of Mona? I don't know if that's that was even an option.
Dante's already.
All right, Dante, you ready? You want to put on your camera?
Great. That's an interesting question.
All right. Now, couple things. I love JC. I'm a JC old boy. I'll always love my old school. But it's not everything. How do I put it? If someone sees injustice being done or things being done the wrong way and does nothing or joins it, then they're just as bad as the people who are doing the injustice or the wrong things. Also, if I want to let Jamaica see the system that I believe we should be playing, if I went to JC and JC was successful using that system, it wouldn't make a difference because nobody would believe that it is a system. Because JC has been up in the top 2 or 3 for the last 5 to 10 years. So if I was to go to Mona and implement a proper developmental system there and utilize it, and they did well, then it would show more what we can do. You know, so there are things that are at JC right now. The huge effort in recruitment, the the 20 players from overseas Caribbean islands, the recruitment of players that schools work hard for 4 or 5 years to build, and then taking them away and putting them together on a pitch. That reminds me of when Cavaliers were playing in the youth competitions. They just go around and pick the best players, get them together, put them on the pitch, pick them up on a Saturday morning, put them on the pitch to play against teams, and no real system, but just the ability of the players then would get you through. And I don't believe in that because that means you're focusing on winning, yeah, not development for the future. And for what I want to see is development for the future. And I think that is the only answer I can give at this time.
Yeah.
And Craig, if I may add to that, I think it's important for people to also recognize the impact that one has when they're allowed to do what they know to do. So at Mona, you were actually allowed to do what you know to do and what you do exceptionally well. And that's important to note, right? Because at JC, you probably would have had your hands tied with too many players, too many decision makers, and too much politics. Where at Mona, they were just happy for the opportunity to work with their players and for what you're able to do to it's just remarkable.
I mean, when you think about it, right? JC, almost every kid that takes their, what do you call it, the PEP exam, takes it for Jamaica College. Every young footballer, right? So they get the best of the best young creme de la creme from all the kids in prep and primary school who are good footballers. They win Pepsi. They go on to win Colts. But 90% of these players do not transition to the Manning Cup team. Why? Because the development is not there. You understand? Development is not there. We have Rush from This or That Sports. Yeah, we want to bring him on. Hey Dante, how you doing? Dib.
I'm good. How are you, Beef? Yeah, I'm
Good,
here.
good. You had a good training session and a healthy walk yesterday to the stadium. Huh? You good?
Just tired in the legs.
Tired?
Yeah.
How the legs? Still sore? Are you all right?
Yeah, still sore. Just my thighs are sore now, but that was from all the walking yesterday. So.
Why they run?
You want to add Rush now? You want to add Rush now?
Yeah, but add Rush.
All right.
No, what happened is yesterday I tell them to meet me on Wellington Drive
Uh-huh.
at X time. Holding them a big man. Yo, just pick me up for the school, pick me up.
Yeah.
Meet me on Wellington Drive. Oh, we getting the letter from the school for the embassy. Well, wait.
Uh-huh.
I said, oh, now big man, all right then. I just turn the bus on Wellington Drive. I drive go down the stadium, used to training and sit down.
Yeah.
They had to all walk. Come on, Max. They all had to walk. Come. They all had to walk to training. And luckily, Big Bikes was coaching and in a good mood today.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in a good mood, so he didn't make them run too hard. But I hope the lesson was learned, follow instruction.
Dante was one of them, you had to walk?
It was the main man. It was actually what they do, they set him up. They always use him as a spokesman, right? And then it gets in trouble. The man them say, I remember when Kyle was younger, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Beef, the man them say, like my wait on the letter. Man them say, who for the come? Because what happens is, at that time of the day, you get traffic from the schools.
Yeah.
So to come back to Mona in the bus and then turn back around and go in the traffic down to Ligani. Go put you in a half an hour worth of traffic. So you just turn on Wellington Drive and go down. So I said, go on. Anyway, It's all right. Hello, Rush. How are you?
Oh, Rush,
Yeah,
you're
here.
muted.
You're muted.
Yeah, man, all is well, all is well. Just got a workout in, feel a little bit good about myself. What's going on?
Oh, Rush. Every day I go to gym. I ain't still maga.
No, man, I just start drink up a protein shake and eat up my fruits. Yeah, my apple, I have pause my apple. So, give me 2 months.
Eh? 2 months, you say?
Yeah, give me 2 months.
All right, you see how Dante look. You see how Dante flex make him see how he just me.
Yeah, but Dante, don't take the draw out.
You see how Dante get big, brother?
Give me 2 months, man. Don't worry. My 2 can't fit another shirt. What's going on, though? What's the topic of the day?
Well, we just hear whispers. First call up, what the experience was for him, and Pusai's performance in the Almany the other day and throughout the season, and what his goals are. You know. Oh, by the way, Puss, I was told by Fabian, who's my second year. Sorry, yeah? I want to just tell publicly. I'm going to tell you sorry. Because I'm here cussing Puss every day that he's lazy and that he's not going in the gym. Only to find out from Fabian that before we wake up in the morning, Puss is in the gym. And when we finish training and come home in the evenings, Puss is in the gym. So, respect my boss. Good job.
Yeah, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. And that's where greatness starts. Training, even when training is not going on. When the session is done, you need to be putting in your work. That's how you separate yourself from the best. And Akeem Bernard's performance for the season, obviously we speak about Whisper all the time. But at Akeem Bernard's performance, I feel like it was special. And what he did, what he managed to do, in a competition that is not goalkeeper dominated, a lot of times goalkeepers go under the radar. You have to be special. You have to be special to get some recognition. I feel like he stood out this season. I feel like could have been a coaching some more and again separating himself.
Hey boy!
No man, with a little bit more, may I tell you.
The man said with better coaching.
No, with a little bit
more.
more.
I reach you the thing I thump up your face and I thump up your face here right now.
A little bit more, not better, but a little bit more of training. So I feel like he has the ability to be special and he's next up. In fact, in that
I don't know the thing now. Let me just share something with you. There is a man that coaches our goalkeepers. When you come to our matches or you come to our training, it's an older gentleman, fair-skinned gentleman.
Yeah, man, I know exactly what
Arthur. Now, Arthur played on the champion Cornwall College team as a goalkeeper that Ali McNabb was on. He's an excellent goalkeeper coach. So we've been training Puss all along. You know how far Puss come from? Huge. So don't think that we're not coaching him. Don't think. Let me give you a good example. You seen the penalty shootouts the other day?
Special.
Okay, but you notice the first 2 penalties that kicked on him that scored? And did you notice anything different with the last 2?
Of course. I was watching it because I like to watch penalty shootouts. What he did, he was diving to the left for the first 2. And the one that he saved, he faked to the left and then dived to the right. So I saw exactly what he did.
You saw what he did before he kicked the penalty was kicked out.
Tell me if I miss it. What happened?
All right. I don't know who told him something. I don't want to cast any aspersions. But when Puss went into the goal, he was anticipating. Right? So he anticipate. Don't move him. Don't do nothing before the penalty kick. He anticipate. Dive to the left, the man put the ball to the right. Anticipate again. Dive to the left, the man put the ball to the right. I started freaking out because I'm saying that's not Puss. First thing is, Puss always spot the ball. Take up the ball, carry it up to the penalty spot. Spot the ball and look at the man in the face. Yeah? Now when you have a 6'4" monster look in the face, it's a little bit intimidating. That is 1. 2, when him go in the goal, him point at you, and then him do him look at fandangles like this. Yeah? doing fandangles, and it puts you off. And he never anticipates. He moves when you kick the ball. And that's what he did. The first one, after him doing him supposed to, because I was screaming at him to do it.
He was guessing.
All right. And him listen. The first one that the guy kick, he just kick it tight, let the crossbar and come out. And the second one he saved. You know? So it's also important to be yourself when you play football. There's certain things that are special about you. You know, it's like me as a coach. Anyway, I change the way I am as a coach, you know, I lose my players, you know. Any day I start to change how emotional I am or how much I love them or how much I believe in the system, or I lose my players. It's like, you know, half of the rush, half of the football, you know, is love, you know, believe it or not, you know. And the other half is tactics, you know. Why do you think Ancelotti was so successful? The man players love him, you know. Love him. If they're going to hell, he might go to hell, they might go with him. And that's why he was so successful. Because you had people who were better trained, more qualified than him. And yet he won the Champions League the other day. You know? So, no man.
But to the point I was making though, I do believe that Akeem Bernard has special ability. And he's kind of unorthodox. You know, today we did a show and Joe Moore said something and then I thought about it. Some saves that you see goalkeeper make with their feet because they just can't go down that far, that fast. He's making them with his hands. So for a man of that stature, he's so big, he's about 6'3", and he manages to get down that fast and making those saves with his hands. I think that special ability and being able to do that is reflexes. When I call him Pussy, he has cat-like reflexes. So I honestly believe he has some special talent. The one to your right, I think, obviously, we've said all we can about that one, but Akeem Bernard, man, goes under the radar, but definitely have some special ability.
Let's talk about Dante a little bit. Dante, just for the record, what is your best position?
Left back.
All right. When you played Pepsi for Georges, what position you played?
The striker.
And you won Pepsi, yeah?
Yeah.
Scored goals and important goals?
Yeah.
Which ones?
I scored against KC in the semi-finals, and I was there playing against Whisper. And I scored in the finals against Wilmos, against Dell's team.
So, question I want to ask: how did you become a left back? You're right-footed.
Yeah. How I became a left back was that I went to Germany, and when I came back, coach was like, "Oh, so we need someone else to play left back," and I was like, "Coach, can you put me left back so I can work on my left foot?" And ever since that, he put me there, and I've just been working on my left foot there, refining it a lot more.
So when you're playing now, and people see you, Rush, when you see Dante playing, yeah, if he didn't say what he was saying right now, which foot you think he would use?
He looks like a left-footed player, mostly because we see him on the left side of the pitch. So
crosses with his left foot, but you have left backs that are right-footed, and they use the right foot. He controls with the left, dribbles with the left, crosses with the left, tackles with the left. When you get a player who is a crossover mentally, that happens to them. Because I was exactly like that, but I did it for the other reasons. Yeah? Him still alert. Yeah.
You can play with those who's supposed to watch it.
Him still alert, but when you get there, don't worry, I'm good. But they see with the billiards, that's what I'm saying, so. Like how dripping talking and going on.
Get in there.
Remember when Whisper play with the ball and what we have interview? But it's a crossover that happens in the rush mentally. I broke my right knee, and my last year Manning Cup, I didn't have enough time before it healed. So I cut off the cast the day before the first match. I just played the whole season like that. Never touch a ball with my right foot the whole season. And I became left-footed. Yeah. Now you lost the penalty shootout, I think, the other day to a 55-year-old man. You remember that?
No, I don't think I lost that penalty shootout, you know. Some match fixing going right there. But me I get it.
I don't understand. I didn't roll the ball. What was the power like from the left foot?
No man, good enough. I was actually surprised that you're not left-footed.
I'm not left-footed.
But the people in the comment section look like they just put it, them say they just put the laces through the ball and just anywhere it go, it just go. Yeah, they must say, I don't mean that they must say.
No, brother. It was the most recent post. The volley come over and catch it from my left and go, whoop.
We see it, man. Just a band.
Post. You see it?
We see it, man.
All right, my boss. So don't think say buckle. But what happened was I could never play right back. Even though I was right-footed, because when I play right back, I don't overlap. You know? The reason I'm actually posting it, saying this is, Dante, what position you played last year for Mona?
Left back.
All right. And this year, although we had a pressing system where you played higher up the pitch, what side of the pitch you play on?
Mostly the left side.
Okay. So, when you went to national training, what position Meron Garden put you to play?
For the first few days, he put me at left back, but then after that, he changed and said I should play right back.
And how long were you playing right back for?
For the second week, and I went.
Who was the left back? Who was the left back while you were playing right back?
The left back was a kid from Manchester.
Was he left-footed?
Yeah, he was left-footed.
And how did you perform at right back?
I performed, in my opinion, I believe I performed well. Like, I was there communicating and even like leading the team from the right side as well. Because the centre backs that I was playing with, they weren't talking as much. So I had to be covering for them and talking to everyone else on the pitch.
Which is one of your strong points, to be honest. You communicate well on the pitch. And
But
was
let
the
me
coach...
ask you this. Hold on, Rush. Let me ask you. When you play left back, what would you say is your greatest strength?
The support and attack, like the overlapping run that I make, and my change of pace.
All right. So, do you play the same way when you play right back? Are you that free in terms of going and whipping the balls and everything? Or no?
No, I'm not normally that free whenever I'm there playing right. Not as free as I'm playing left back.
So if I wanted you to succeed, to be the best that you can be and perform the best that you can perform, what position would I need to put you to play?
Probably left back.
Okay.
Or even left centre back. Because I would communicate to the team and tell them what to do.
But you played on the right side for most of the time, right?
Yeah.
All right. Don't need to go any further than that. How do you feel about this upcoming trip?
Well, I feel positive. I feel like that a lot of players can get good opportunities from it. And the players look like they're ready mentally to go. They just have to, when they go, all they have to do is just apply themselves and they'll succeed on the tour.
What did you, when you went on the tour in 2021 and you played against, I think, what would you say was your best game?
Best game, probably the first match against Reading.
Yeah?
Yeah, like at the start, I was a bit nervous and I costed the team. But then I made it back for it and we came back from behind to win 5-4.
So tell me about the Sheffield game, because the Sheffield chief scout kept calling about you that he really liked you. The number 4 that he said that plays off both feet.
That match, it was, you can say like for sure that like most of the players, you can say that was like our first professional match. Because that match was playing at like a high, fast tempo. And like as you get the ball, the players are there closing you down right away. So you have to be making your decision a lot quicker and play smarter. because if you give the ball right, if you just give away the ball right in front of you, then they're just going to attack you right away and make the chances count.
And that Sheffield team that you played against was actually like their second team because they had like 23-year-olds playing, players that just barely out of the first team playing against you guys. You know, because
Yeah.
the scout, the head of recruitment told me that. And he was very, very impressed with you and Whisper, I think, in that game. You know? So when you went on that tour and came back, what do you think the benefit of that tour for you was as a player and as a person? What before you went on the tour, what were you like? When you came back from the tour, what were you like? And what would you why would you choose to go for that development?
Before the trip, I was, you could say, a bit nervous. I was a bit scared to head the ball and just scared of making mistakes. And then coming back, it just, to me, came a bit more natural heading the ball. And also, mistakes happen to every player. No one's perfect. So sometimes when you're there playing, you're going to make mistakes, but you have to try your best to make less of them.
This year, we played a different formation. Two of them. What were they? Could you explain them to us?
We played Domino 6 and Domino 5. Domino 6 is 2 centre backs, 2 defensive midfielders, 2 attacking midfielders, 2 left wingers on one side, and 1 right winger on the other side, or 1 left winger, 2 right wingers, and 1 striker, or 2 strikers on 1 left winger and 1 right winger. And then Domino 5 is 2 centre backs, 2 6s, 1 8, 2 10s, 1 striker, 1 left winger, 1 right winger.
And what are the objectives of those formations? Because they've never been played before. What was our objective by using them?
To just press for the ball and try to create as much chances as possible. When the centre back gets the ball, they should play the ball to the 6, and the 6 finds the 8 or the 10, and then they spray and play the true pass through. And after that, we crash the box.
How many chances would you say are created per game when we play that formation?
There's a lot of chances created. There's at least like 10 chances that we have created.
So when you were
every
playing
game.
this year versus last year, what were your main positions?
Last year, my main positions were centre back and left back, and then this year I played everywhere on the field except goalkeeper.
And why? What? Explain to me how we position ourselves in terms of the geography of the pitch.
Just we're stepping into the opponent's half, keeping them in there, and not letting them out. If they kick the ball long, then the centre backs are supposed to jump and head the ball back in to our midfield, and then we continue again with another chance.
So you really played out of position, right?
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
give me a second, you guys.
Sure. Well, we want to, Laura, unfortunately, Craig, we're going to just have to step away now. So, Laura, did you have any final words to say to the boys? I'll step into the middle there. Yeah.
No, other than just stay focused, and we'll be spending time. We'll do our Zoom sessions, and just always come prepared to learn, to constantly improve. That's what we do, and prepping off the field is equally important, right? So I'll get you young men ready for the trip, for Europe trip, and you'll be able to go on that trip with more confidence. Simply by the more you learn, the more you confident you feel, and the more confident you are. But I'm so proud of you all. I miss you all terribly. Sending you lots of hugs from Auntie, and just keep safe, keep together, and remember the value in what it is you do, and just keep you focused. And I'll see you on my next trip. I'll see you certainly on Zoom. I think we need to have a few sessions this week, Brandon. So I will work them into my schedule. And gentlemen, I will see you soon. So all the best, Craig. I'll see you guys. I'll be in touch. Well weather here in Texas is up and down, but it's still have a lot to do.
Right, it was great having you on, Laura. Really appreciate it.
Great to be here, and take care, guys, and I'll keep in touch. All right, enjoy the rest of it. Okay.
Bye.
Okay.
And everyone, just feel free to ask some questions as well. I'm monitoring the chat. So Craig is still here. You sure you want to say that? You want to come?
No, I'm good right here.
Man, I have a question. I have a question for Whisper.
Sure.
Do you feel pressured at any time? Do you feel like there's a bit of weight on your shoulders to make it as a professional? I just want to know, like, does any of this, weigh on you?
No. I don't feel pressured.
You're 100% confident in your abilities that you can make it as a professional, right?
Yes, why not?
I just need to know that from you, because sometimes as a 17-year-old, when there's a lot, built up about you and you deserve it. A lot of times people don't take time to check in with the person themselves to see how they're feeling about what is said about them, because he's 17 after all. So that's good to know that you're not buckling to the pressure.
Actually, he's getting a lot better. I think he's getting stronger.
And on the training session today, I'd love to get some insight. What was emphasis placed on the local training session today? What was the emphasis on? What was the main aim from the coach?
It wasn't, as I said, it was really about finishing recovery training today, but the intent is what the passing, like the ping pass. I don't know if you understand ping pass, like a harder pass.
Mm-hmm.
So that was most of the training today.
It sounds like fundamental work.
I think what he was doing is evaluating all the players that were there, by setting up passing and finishing drills that would test their ability to pass hard and to cushion the ball, and also movement off the ball and finishing. So and really getting to know the players, So that was, I think, what I saw him doing in the training. Whisper did really well, apart from one or two nervous sessions where he kicked the ball like it's an NFL ball and was trying to score. But for the most part, he was exceptional, finishing, very good, very superb, and communicating well. In fact, apart from Topi, he looked like one of the biggest players on the pitch. Yeah, someone, I won't say who it was, he says, "Are you sure he's 17?" I said, "Yeah, man, he's not African 17, he's a Jamaican 17, he's really 17." So I'm glad with the work that he's been putting in.
Yeah, and we want to just again throw out if there's any last questions for Whisper and Pusai. Pusai want to stay on longer. We're here. Rush, did you have anything else you want to ask?
Did the coach know if you or any of the players coming into the session, or did it seem like he was leaning on the know-how of maybe his technical staff or whatever? Did he know you before today?
Yes.
As a player?
Yes. We know most of the players because I didn't call him names. Like the reason I said that because if he doesn't know a player, he was like midfielder. He called you midfielder, striker. But if you know your name, like he will say your name.
He was calling you by name, so it's good to know. Good to know.
Is he calling you Whisper or by your name?
By my name.
By your name?
Dujan? Cool.
Well,
just look on there and see if it say oral, because oral Tracy was saying he was trying to get on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you want to add him now?
I didn't know.
Oh, he just dropped out. Let him know to try to come back on. Does he want to ask Whisper some questions as well?
About the tour coming up. anything to tell? Like, who are the teams you'll be facing, when, how long?
Sorry, say again, Rush.
Yeah, about the tour coming up. I hear that Phoenix is going on a Europe tour. So tell us about some of the teams that the guys will be playing against and the others.
Right. So we'll get right to that, Rush. First, we're going to add on Earl Tracy. We'll get him to ask if he wants to ask Whisper anything because, the guys are getting tired and they're restless. So we'll give him some time. So we'll add him on.
Rush, we're playing Atletico Madrid. We're playing Real Sociedad. We're playing Levante. We're playing Benfica. And we're playing Aston Villa, possibly Newcastle, and a couple more teams.
At what level?
At the second team in most, and U20 in the rest.
Understand.
Hi, Mr. Tracy. Welcome on the show. It's a pleasure to.
Hey, man. Nice to be here.
That's good. Real quick. I found that. Real quick. I found out you're related to my partner, my girlfriend here, Camille. Apparently you're her uncle or something.
Who that?
Camille Tracy.
Camille Tracy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a lot of nephews and nieces all around the place these days. You don't think of?
All right. Well, no.
Possibly.
Right. So I want to open up to you if you had any questions for Whisper and Pusai before they.
No, well, me just want big up the ball, you know, and encourage him, you know, to go from strength to strength. You know, this morning, I was on my radio show this morning, and I was ranting on about, the upcoming, the new World Cup cycle to start and the new coach to come. And I was saying to myself, I hope, I'm sorry he didn't get here before the end of the schoolboy football season, so he would have seen Whisper play and thus call him to the national team. And while I was saying that, somebody sent me a text message saying that Whisper was actually invited to the training camp. So I said, there you go. The coach is on the right track. Super talent. I just want to encourage the baller to continue to do what he's doing and continue to go from strength to strength. Real baller, real talent. You get me?
For real.
Who's that?
Yeah.
Godfather Craig?
Yeah, man, I'm there, man. I'm in the house.
I don't know why he has.
As usual.
But
You're the boss of the house, you know.
Yeah. So do you want to keep them on, or you want to let them step away for a bit?
No, I just think you guys they're tired, but I think this was a good experiment, and I think we can continue. We're working with Laura. You know Laura Oral, my sister. Yeah, she's working with them on the public speaking and the image projection. And you remember how?
I hardly hear you though, Craig.
You can't hear me?
Yeah.
I said Laura is.
You hearing me clearly? You guys hearing me clearly?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Man,
Yeah.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear the host, but I can't hear Craig that clearly, like him off mic.
No, it's because of the.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, better.
Yeah, so I'm saying that Laura is working with them on their public speaking and image projection, you know,
Yeah.
and, branding and the things that they need to do. These things are going to be important now. You'll be working on contracts with, whether it is Adidas or Nike or Puma for them and, for most of the guys in the academy now, because they've reached that stage. And it's very important that they keep that brand very powerful and very clean and, build it. So, I was telling Brandon that I don't know if you can remember, but I remember trying back then sending out the clippings of when we were in Europe, interviewing Chippy when he was 12 and 13, 14, 15 coming up, and just seeing the evolution into what he is today. So many people, Whisper, him don't talk, and him this and him that. There's a reason the name Whisper, Yeah,
I remember when you first told me about Whisper, and you even showed him to me. I said, okay. We never even pay much attention because I say, okay, if he's good, I'll see him again and hear of him again. And here we go now.
Yeah. It's really, it's really a pleasure to see the growth, of not just Whisper, but all the players, When you look at the players, Jamani Bello, Wolmers, Dylan John, Michael Graham, Dante Peralta, Don Dujan, Don Hugh Mitchell, Romario.
Question, Craig. Question for everybody on the panel. In terms of getting into Europe now, I was speaking to someone and they told me that Whisper is at an age where it might be a little bit challenging because he's above the academy age and below the age to sign a professional contract. Is there a potential challenge there for getting him into Europe at this point?
No, because we're not planning to get him into Europe at this point. What this is that if you remember the last year of Leon and Kyle, when they were 17 plus, what we would do is they would go and they would train with the different clubs. So maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, and then come back and train here with me again. And then go again. So they get exposure, experience, preparation for when they touch 18, they hit the pavement running. They're not used to the cold, not used to the languages, not used to the culture, not used to how they play or the systems that they use.
Yeah.
Not intimidated by, the environment. Oh my God, this is a stadium that can hold 60,000 people. What am I going to do? It's Atletico Madrid. Oh my God. No. And then to make it more, what we've been doing for the last 5 years is every year we take them on a tour of Europe. So not only are they getting used to Europe, but the clubs in Europe are getting to know them.
Getting used to them.
Yeah, because I can tell you, Genk know Whisper already. Real Sociedad know Whisper. They know Pusai. They know, it's not like they know Dante, Dante and Whisper thing spent an extra week after we played against Genk and beat them. And they stayed an extra week there in 2019? Yeah. So they know the players. So when we say, listen, here are the clips of them now. They say, oh, yeah, man, we want them. So it's not
one more quick question, Craig, and the rest of the panelists. You know me already. I can't be here and do a little rabble-rousing. Whisper, outstanding talent, obviously at the Manning Cup level this season. Prove it to everybody. Collected all the awards on Saturday evening. In terms of specific weaknesses that you need to improve in his personal game for him to go forward on the bigger stages of the world, what would that weakness be if you can find one specific weakness?
Well, one specific weakness that was there, we already fixed it with our actual formation that we play at Phoenix, because we don't use wing backs. And the wingers have to track back when we press on the opposite side. So if we press it on this side, this winger has to come back like a wing back. Press on the other side. So what his weakness would be sometimes, what people would have thought was his weakness, was his development. Because at Phoenix, we develop our players first to be very creative and attacking players, while we're building them physically to manage the workload that we want them to carry. So for the first 3 years at Phoenix, every winger at Phoenix was told, listen, you only press when you lose the ball, you try and tackle back for the ball, and then you stop at the half line. Don't go no further. The midfield and the defense will do everything and then get the ball to you. Now we have evolved to the point where Whisper, Pusai, Dante, Duve, they're all beasts. Them big, them strong, them fast, them powerful. So when you lose the ball now, you have to track back. You have to press back. You have your movement off the ball has to become more. So if you notice in the all-Manning game, I don't know if you watch the game. You watch all-Manning game?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you notice, when Whisper didn't have the ball in the all-manning game, he was tracking all the way back.
Yeah.
All the way back to tackle and go all the way back. That's the next phase of his evolution. So those see it as a weakness because it's now been fixed. But it was that problem before it was how we were telling him to play.
Yeah.
You know? Because if you try to build Rome in a day, it's not going to work. But if you put in the foundation first and the building blocks, then you go up until it's ready, the house is finished at the right time.
What's his preferred position to play? Or what position you prefer him to play?
Well, I'm going to make him answer first.
Right wing.
Say again? Yeah.
Right wing.
Right wing. All right, so you can like an inverted right winger with that powerful left foot of yours.
Yeah.
All right. Work with it. But you know, Craig are going to encourage, and the scouts in Europe are going to encourage versatility and flexibility. So you don't know that. Are your preferred position that? But you might get a club where say, look, we're going to play you down the left, or we're going to play you left or right midfield. So you have to prepare for the unexpected, right?
Anyway, man, put me ready, you know.
Well,
Say again?
I said, anyway, man, put me ready.
That is the attitude, my boss. That is it. That is it, right? You may not have to hear nothing more, Craigis.
But here's the thing now. When you play for Phoenix, what position you play?
Right now?
Yeah.
Right wing.
Okay, but you play left wing in the game too?
No.
So you don't switch on the left?
Yeah, what I do time.
And you don't switch on the center forward too?
Yeah.
So when you play in a game, you find yourself all over the pitch. Them just interchange because all of them can play all 3 points of attack. So,
Yeah.
you know, Shab or right wing, I can play left wing. Him can play.
All right.
Dane can play right.
I don't want to come and dominate the program in a quick because some of the other panelists them look like
No,
want to talk and me dominate the thing. So yeah. I said my piece. I'm here encourage the ball again and encourage Phoenix to continue to do what you're doing. You get me?
Yeah.
Hey, Orhan, did you see Pusar play? The Almani goalkeeper?
You started late?
No, yeah.
Well, I saw your message late, so that's why I just respond, you know?
No, man, we didn't start late, but did you see the Almani goalkeeper play?
Yes, man.
What you thought of
I watched the entire Almaning game, man.
What you thought
your
of
goalkeeper look good, man. What happened to the Mona? What happened to the forward from Mona, though? What's his name?
Zayn.
Your big baller from Mona. What's his name?
Dovey, the center.
The one, no, man, not the center half, the attacking one.
Zayn?
He was not part of the Almaning team.
Is him start at center forward and is him set up the goal with
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
he was. Okay. Cause I was looking for him, and yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
8 Phoenix.
Yeah, man, I see your goalkeeper, man.
Yeah.
Phoenix was all over the Almaning team, man. Know yourself.
Yeah.
I think probably you would do a better job at coaching that Almaning team than your friend from up at your school. But that's a different story.
That's a different story for another time.
All right.
I don't want to get in no trouble.
Yeah, I think we give the guys a bit of a break now. I mean, we can always ask them to come back. Yeah, so thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Blessings.
Mr. Butler, I made an interesting observation in the Almaning game. That man came on at left back.
Huh?
I made an interesting observation in the Almaning game. That man Whitfield came on at left back, and he was outstanding. I don't know. In fact, a lot of people watching that game would have probably thought that he's a left back. You know, he played as your defensive midfield. Unfortunately for him, Nikai Gale, the stats defensive midfielder, was outstanding in the Almaning game. He came on at left back and he put in a showstopping performance. He was the best wing back on the day. Talk to me about that and his versatility, because he's very underrated as a player.
You know that basically every player that comes through Phoenix, I had a bad experience one time. I have a player named Travis Blagrove. He was my captain. He had played for JC too at centre half, and we brought him to Europe on trials. Now I kept saying to him, Travis, Work on your left foot, work on your left foot, because you never know what they're going to do to you with the trials. So we arrive at Standard Liège, and they're having a trial game. You know position they put Travis?
Yeah.
Left back. And him dribble, him go down the line all the way down, and when the time comes for him cross the ball with him left foot, him just turn over and drop. Because he didn't practice to the left. So we took that all those years ago, and we made it a point of duty that every player that plays for Phoenix can play in every position. Is the same Dante Peralta that you see right there? Dante gone?
Yeah, he dropped out.
Yeah. It's the same Dante
But
Peralta.
Craig, still, despite your efforts at getting them as versatile as possible, they're gonna be always preferences in terms of how them play. That goal that Leon missed for Aston Villa the other day, I was saying to somebody, as much as Craig Butler try making ball at them as rounded as possible, Leon is still predominantly a left-footed player.
On the
And
left
if he
side,
got that chance on his left foot, me know him would have buried.
100%.
You get me? It's just, despite your attempts, players are going to always prefer one foot over the other. You understand me? I don't think it's a big deal. But I just think if you're good enough with your good foot, you can't be bad with your bad foot.
True, but at the same time, Leon, I think more than any other player I have, is comfortable using both feet. He will dribble.
Leon.
He don't have to be strong enough. It's the comfort. He will dribble down the right side, dip like him cutting in, and go down the right side and cross that ball with his right foot. And when you look at the tape from that miss, you realize that he was off balance already. You also realize that the center half had covered the far post. Center half had gone back and covered the far post.
So he was trying to go near post.
He was trying to go near post. Off balance. So that's why when it go wide, if you had aim for the far post, then I lick the center half. But he was trying to go for
I think that miss did his game a lot of good though, You see that miss and the cry when him cry, it's almost like him show the coach and the fans say, watch a man. This thing mean a lot to me, Of
course.
Me not supposed to have missed them goal there. And you see the bounce back in the following game. Like a real Phoenix, no?
No Phoenix player plays professional football or wants to play professional football because of the money that they bring. They want to play because they love football. They want to play because they love the game. They want to play for their country because they love their country.
Yeah.
But it's not about the money. So when Leon have a miss or something like that, it hurt him.
Yeah, man.
No idea. Sometimes, players when them go home, brother, them can't sleep, You're tormented. You're going over and over and over in the head. That's why many footballers need psychiatrists,
Yeah.
That's why I have sports psychiatrists and sports psychologists. Because you have to get them into mentally. I remember when Leon was younger, we used to do a thing called visualization, where he closes his eyes and we have him visualizing and telling us what he's going to do, where he's going to be in 5 years, how he's going to score the goals, how his life is going to be, what is it going to be like on the pitch. And these are things that you have to do to make them focus on the future, because the present sometimes it's bleak. Yeah, the present, the life that you have to be living in, to come to training every day, and you go home and gunshot a fire overhead and them thing there, and some of them community where the youth them come from. Understand, more time, I tell you, sometimes I sit down and I'm literally crying. Now about you, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to tell you the youth name too. No, I'm not telling him because I just want to protect him, but now about you too, his father, he wasn't coming training regularly. And I call him father and talk to him father. And the father tells him, say, he must come training every day. The youth live in a particular area. And he came to train in the morning. But when you come and train with me, training done when I feel like it done. So you could all come and training all 7 o'clock and training are done till 2 o'clock. Come I have to get it right. And when he got home, like him come in the morning, he got home at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Come off of the taxi. When he come off of the taxi, he hear gunshot fire. I see some man a run past him. Right? Him know the man, you know. You know, says people is right in front of him yard. Some of him friend, them and relative, them get killed, right? So, and had that boy not come to training, he would have been right there.
Wow.
So
just
sometimes
like that.
people don't realize the impact on saving lives that football have, you know? The hope that it gives. I tell people all the while, say, I'm almost sure such a people would have turned a gunman. Because A, him not have no fear. B, him don't care who you are, him gonna take you out. I remember when Chippy was a little boy, man. You can't beat Chippy. It's like if you get a child beating her, say, you're in trouble, you can't beat him. The money have fisted out with you know. From him little side up. You understand? So you have to, when you recognize what could happen to these kids, it's really lives they are safe. I could have stopped coaching, stopped being involved in football, and just focus on Leon. And I'd be okay for the rest of my life.
One more quick question. The new coach, Craig, Mr. Hamer Hallgrimson, you form an opinion about him yet, how good he is, how fair he is as a coach, and what his vision for the immediate future of the football. Your thoughts on the new coach, the new national coach for Jamaica, that is.
Well, put it this way, I've seen several national coaches come in, and I've not seen a lot of them at the Premier League games or going around looking at players. I think his first call of duty, he started to go to the Premier League games and look at players. That shows a humility, and a willingness to look for young players.
Yeah, he was at Stadium East and he was at Arnett Gardens.
Yeah. Second thing is, I've not formed a big, much of, I just met him for the first time today.
Yeah.
Leon has met him already though. He went to visit Leon in England. And
he played in the Argentina game too.
Yeah, and Leon has a good impression of him. Yeah? And he, through Leon, knows the journey of the Phoenix. And
okay.
Through Leon, he knows who I really am. Yeah? When I met him today, it wasn't very quick and it wasn't a lot. But it was enough for me to know that I can watch to see what happens. Because he doesn't look as easily influenced by those around him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my impression of him too.
I think
like he knows what he's about and he's not going to make people dictate to him. Me get that impression from him.
And I think if you are that person, I think the players that I have will benefit. Because if they are amongst the best, and you don't care whether Craig Butler coaches them or they're from Phoenix All-Stars Football Academy, and you not gonna make the money from the transfer, then, and he doesn't care about that, then the best players will play. And that's all I want to say. If by you they're not good enough, then they're not good enough. But if they are good enough, and you fight them out because of where them come from, then me and you go to war forever. You understand? Forever. All of me dead, me come back and war again. Because I believe in doing what is right. And I believe, world, if you know anything of my life, you know, say I go through a lot. Yeah?
Yeah, warrior, man. Don't worry yourself, man.
And
the world know that now, man.
I believe, sir. You hear me believe, sir. I remember hearing this one time. I never forgot it, Because I'm like a little historian. I like read about history and the great champions of old and slavery and all that thing now, how it was abolished and civil rights and those things. And one of the sayings, I don't remember who it was. Maybe it was Martin Luther King or one of them. But they said,
today's Martin Luther King's Day.
See there? It said, if you see injustice, the man who sees injustice and does nothing about it is worse than the man who is actually doing the injustice.
Very good, sir.
Yeah?
Good, sir.
So, you're not really business if a man like me or not. I think.
No.
I will give
we
you
don't do things for likability, my boss. You know that. Me and you have that in common. If I did for likability, we wouldn't survive and I don't know what we do with that.
A long time.
Anyway,
I think that
you know, me have show earlier morning, you know, so I have to go get my rest and all these things, you know.
I think we've been
so I big up the link, you know.
Yeah.
A good link, you know, if we do this more often, you know.
Yeah, man.
And Craig, me if we do a live on my YouTube channel, you know, we don't do that yet, you know.
All right, boss.
We're gonna set it up at the we're gonna set it up at the designated time. Here, sir.
I'll say that. Yeah. I don't know what
Hey, you know what the greatest thing was for me this holiday? I wanted to say this.
Eh?
I had my father here in Jamaica with me for I think 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I've never had my father in Jamaica with me. You believe that?
Yeah.
It was a really good feeling, you know. And I tell people that's why it's so important to have a father around you that cares. Because it's a whisper father, is a man who always round him.
Yeah.
I have the benefit of that. I tell him all the time, love your father and appreciate
a big thing.
It's very important, bro. Very important.
Well, I have high expectations for him, Craig.
Yeah, man.
Handle him with kids' gloves, my boss, and you don't know, the journey is never the same. No two journeys are ever the same, you know.
Yeah.
So despite you doing that journey, you did the journey with Leon, you know, so you have to prepare for the bumps and the bruises with Whisper and the other Phoenix them where you try break into Europe, you know. But me want to give you encouraging words still, you know, my boss, because, you know, me love and me sit, me feel me can recognize real football talent when me see real football talent. And me see real football talent in a Whisper. Not for them that challenge you and say you find Leon by mistake, better never find the next one. Well, the argument don't know.
I can tell you, it's not just Whisper.
Me figure?
The Damoy with feeling bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
Criminally underrated.
Bad.
All right.
That man, they have 11 subjects, you know. You didn't know that?
What?
I mean, right, like, yo, you should, the man intelligence in play football. You see the guy that came on and played left back for the Alman team?
Yeah.
He's a central.
He's a central midfielder, that, you know. A left-footed central holding midfielder, you know.
And he was leading
versatility.
Yeah, he was leading goal scorer for most of the Manning Cup season.
Yeah.
As a center back, leading goal scorer.
No, we're not talking about Duvet, we're talking about Damoy midfield.
Nosy. Oh, sorry.
But that you the intelligence and that left-footed holding midfield is a rare find in professional football. That you have a sure future. You know? Sure.
There's another kid who is not a Phoenix. I think he's an outstanding talent. The youth from Stats were named Satchwell.
Yeah.
Your quick thoughts about him.
What is that?
And a Phoenix. Satchwell. A Satchwell him name?
The man they have a mega mind in name if you want a real name.
The youth from Stats. Why pass to your hand?
A mega mind in name. A Phoenix will come through, yeah? Phoenix.
What is it? Mad enough.
Yeah, man. Satchwell is a
all right, my brother. Go on, do your thing, you know, Craig.
Michael Graham, the left back from JC.
Yeah.
Him is a Phoenix too.
Bob.
So when you say how you have only technical ability and intelligence, brother, you might come from the
some Phoenix tonight.
Yeah,
all right, brother. Let's up, me have to run.
All right,
me have to run. Respect you, sir.
Yeah, Rush. Pleasure as always.
Blessings. I gotta run.
Of course.
Yeah, I know. We'll also end it here as well. I mean, Rush, appreciate
Rush,
it.
thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. You can tell Joe Mariam can do about a cup and style me the other day.
Joe Mariam.
He's always. I feel like they're always styling me in some way.
Rush never style me. It's
No?
always
It's
Joe Mariam. That's
All right, brother. All right, bless it.
As a what? If I want much? 20 or 21 or 22?
Who?
Eh?
Jomar, how old is Jomar? You know the name Jomar and partner for the show.
24. Both of us.
24.
Yeah.
Ask him, since him love running more, how it feel for a 55-year-old cancer surviving patient bust up with it. They come like Ora. The boy
Bridget, leave the running. Leave the running to the young baller, then, brother.
Yeah, the man
When we say run a walk, we walk fast, you know.
Ora, the man them come up a training mode, them want to have challenge. Me versus this or that sports. One another goal I want to kick against me.
You're going to see it, man. You're going to see it.
We're done.
You're going to see it.
We're done, man. The way you think Jimmy Sinclair and Wagga Martin there coach me for? Mad man. Anyway, love on her.
All right, blessings.
All right, guys.
Blessings.
Good night.